Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video, I'll be unboxing and doing a hands-on review of the Xiaomi 11i 5G. So here's the box. In India, this phone is available in two variants. Base variant is priced at 25,000 rupees for 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. Next variant is priced at 27,000 rupees for 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. It's available in four colors: Camo Green, Pacific Pearl, Purple Mist and Stealth Black. We have the black color with us right now. Now the main highlights for this phone would be its overall performance along with that 5G. Next would be its cameras, bigger battery, super fast charging speeds, and finally dual symmetrical stereo speakers. Overall, it's a complete package. There isn't really anything missing out in all the categories, especially for the price. So without any further delays, let's have the quick unboxing. So here's the box once again. On the front, we got a preview of the phone and it says Xiaomi 11i 5G. On the back side, we have some of the highlights which I've just talked about. Anyway, let's unbox it. So first we have a smaller box. Next is the phone itself. Following that is a 67-watt turbocharger. And finally, a USB Type-C charging cable. Now back to the smaller box. Inside we get a SIM card ejector, then there's some documentation, and a transparent silicone case. Now back to the phone, let me just remove the stickers. Now this is how the phone looks on the front, and this is how the phone looks on the back. Now first, let's have a physical overview. On the back side, this phone has a 2.5D curved fiberglass, or probably it's glass, with a nice matte finish to it. On the top, we got the camera module with a triple camera setup with a single LED flash. And at the bottom, we have the Xiaomi branding. It says Xiaomi 5G. On the front, we have a massive display with a punch hole design, protected by a 2.5D curved Corning Gorilla Glass 5. Above the display, we have just got the earpiece and some sensors, and below the display, it's completely plain. As for the chin size, I'd say it's pretty decent. It's not too big, not too small. Now for the sides, on the right side, we got the power and volume buttons. Buttons are made of plastic, they have a nice clicky feel to them. And the power button also acts like a fingerprint scanner. On the left side, it's completely plain. On the top, we got the audio jack followed by the infrared sensor, primary microphone, and the secondary speaker grill. Finally, at the bottom, we got the SIM card tray housing 2 nano SIM slots, and there is no SD card support for this phone. And following that, we have the USB Type-C charging port, primary microphone, and the speaker grill. By the way, this phone has flat sides, which is something I really like in terms of overall design. So that's a pretty good thing. Now when it comes to the overall form factor, this phone has a thickness of 8.34 mm and weighs 207 grams. In hand, it fits pretty comfortably, but it definitely has a bit of weight to it. Like once you take the phone into your hand, you can definitely notice that weight. So the overall weight of the phone is going to be the only con when it comes to the overall design and build. Now this is how the phone looks with the case on. It's just a soft silicone case that we get inside the box. It can give you some grip and prevent smudges, but that's all. Not too much in terms of drop protection. Now these are the complete specifications of this phone. In the display department, this phone has a 6.67-inch AMOLED display with 120Hz screen refresh rate, 360Hz touch sampling rate with a peak brightness of 1200 nits, and it's protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5. On the rear, it has a triple camera setup with a 108MP primary camera, an 8MP ultra-wide-angle camera that's followed by a 2MP camera for taking macro shots. For selfies, we get a 16MP camera with f2.45 aperture. Now when it comes to performance, this phone sports Dimensity 920 5G processor with Mali G68 MC4 GPU. These are the benchmark scores. Besides that, this phone also has vapor chamber cooling, 3GB of virtual RAM, and a new X-axis linear vibrator for better haptics and better gaming experience. Now when it comes to the battery department, this phone is powered by a 5160 mAh battery, supports fast charging, and also comes with a 67-watt turbocharger inside the box. In the audio department, this phone comes with dual symmetrical stereo speakers. We also got 3.5mm audio jack and Dolby audio. So guys, those were the complete specifications. And this is how the phone looks once we turn it on and set it up. This is a home screen, and here's the notification panel with the new bigger toggles. Now here's the settings page. Now let's go to the about section. Right out of the box, this phone is running MIUI 12.5 based on Android 11 with November 1st security patch, which is pretty decent. Now, as for the storage information, out of that 128GB of space, we get about 106GB of space for our user apps and user data. Now this is the camera user interface. It looks pretty similar to other Xiaomi phones. We got the default photo mode, a toggle to switch between the different cameras, wide angle mode, 2x. On the left side we got the video mode, pro mode, and on the right side we got portrait and the more section. We got a pretty similar interface even for the front facing camera. Now these are some sample shots. Now let's check the speaker loudness. As I've mentioned earlier, this phone has dual speakers along with Dolby audio, and this is how they sound. So guys, speakers on this phone are pretty loud. They're definitely great for media consumption, whether it's for watching videos on YouTube or Netflix. You'll definitely appreciate the speakers. Now let's test the fingerprint scanner. This phone actually uses the power button as a fingerprint scanner. Usually a display with in-display fingerprint scanner costs a lot more than a regular AMOLED display without any in-display fingerprint scanner. So that's why most brands go with side-mounted fingerprint scanners to cut down the cost. Now as for the performance, it's pretty good. It almost instantaneously unlocks the phone. Just in case if you really don't like the side-mounted fingerprint scanner, we also got the face unlock feature, and in good lighting conditions and even in low lighting conditions, face unlock works really well, almost unlocks the phone within a second. Even in complete darkness, face unlock works really well. It takes about a second or two to unlock the phone. Now I've been using this phone for quite a few days, and these are my initial impressions. Overall form factor of the phone is pretty good, but it is slightly on the heavier side. You'll get used to it after 2 to 3 days, but initially I was really bothered with that weight. Display quality, 120Hz screen refresh rate, everything is pretty good. I really don't have any complaints with that. When it comes to media consumption, whether it's watching videos or playing games, display is pretty impressive and the dual stereo speakers really improves the overall experience. Performance is pretty good. I didn't have any issues with that. There are no heating issues either. And finally, when it comes to the battery department, even on heavy usage like playing games, watching a lot of videos, using a lot of social media apps, phone still lasted me an entire day with about 20% of juice left. And finally, when it comes to the cameras, as you've already seen the sample shots, it does a pretty good job. So guys, to conclude, Xiaomi's Mi 11i is definitely a pretty good phone at a price tag of about 25,000 rupees. I'd say the only disadvantage thing with this phone would be the storage department, where we get a fixed storage and there is no SD card option either. So that's the only problem. So besides that, there aren't really any issues with this phone. In fact, it's a really well balanced phone. So guys, what do you think about this phone? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you're planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description. It always helps the channel. With that said, this is Nikhil signing off. See you in my next video.